guys, welcome back to my channel, and my name of course is Speculative Magpie, and we're here to talk about some books, and I got a good one for you. This one is called Our Carrion Hearts by Brian Fatah Steele, and let's read the synopsis and then we're going to come back and talk about it, okay? So, vampires, witches, fairies, jinn, and wendigo. These 5 tribes have held an uneasy truce for centuries, united for their mutual benefit as the Carrion Court. But now the collapse has begun. Daniel Hale has been summoned back to his hometown to investigate the disappearance of another wendigo. Rumors are circulating that his kind are going feral, hearing voices in their primal form. To make things more complicated, a young psychic woman seems somehow involved. Meanwhile, Kelsey Radu and her family are acquiring an impressive body count. The teenage witch has a plan, one audacious and brutal. It doesn't matter how many die out back in the shack. She will not be stopped until the ritual is finally complete. Daniel and Kelsey are on a collision course that could determine the fate of the world. Wendigo versus witch, neither of them are heroes. So isn't this cover just awesome, y'all? Look at that cover. So pretty. I'm willing to admit that's one of the main reasons I bought this book, because the cover was awesome. So, full disclosure, I follow this author on TikTok. He did a post and I saw the book and I was like, I went and checked it out. I'm like, yeah, I'm buying it. And I am so glad I did. This is such a unique take on everything. Vampires, jinn, he doesn't call them those names. Those are just for the back of the book. Like, vampires are sallows, wendigos, fairies are throng, witches are the sect. I think that's it. Jinn are the vacant, I believe. Yeah. And basically, these 5 tribes are like top apex predators. And it's an uneasy truce because we're basically just their food. And they each have different aspects of us that they feed off of. Like, wendigo is our flesh. Which makes sense, you know, if you know what a wendigo is. It's a cannibalistic monster, kind of. The throng, which are fairies, feed off of your belief. The sallow vampires feed off of your blood. Witches, the sect, feed off of your fear. And what's happening is this wendigo disappears, which is like the new apprentice of Daniel's mentor. So Daniel's mentor calls him back and says, hey, this chick's missing. Can you go find her? And he's like, fuck, I don't really want to. Because, like, Daniel is this, like, thug, crook, delinquent. And he's just like, I have shit to do. I don't want to follow this. But his mentor's like, please. And he's like, okay, whatever. So he tries to track her down. And along the way, he picks up this girl who's looking for her sister. And they become involved in this investigation. Alongside of this investigation is Kelsey. She's like this white trash witch that has this long line of like witch generations. Now, witches, it's in their bloodline. They're not human. But they do magic and they worship this one god. And this one god's like, we're going to take everybody over. I need you to do it. And Kelsey's like, yeah, sure, I'm down. So she starts doing this ritual. And to do this ritual, she has to go on hunts and catch these people. Because she has to provoke this fear in them. And they do it by torture. And the torture is pretty horrific. There's just, wow. this was a lot more brutal than some of the just straight up torture that I've read. I read a book earlier this month called The Merciless, which was basically just this couple torturing people. Kelsey in here, she takes it to a whole nother level, serious another level. And I just really enjoyed this book. This book was so unique and so different. It was like, in my mind, I called it a horrific dark fantasy, but just because of the monsters that were there, that's probably not what the author was going for, at least. But everything that happened, I mean, yeah, nobody in here was really, good, except for maybe the psychic woman that Daniel hooked up with. She was the only good character in there. That's probably because she was the closest to human. Really, there was nothing about this book that I didn't love. I highly recommend this book for its unique take on monsters, and this was just a fascinating book. When it ended, I didn't want it to end. It was a short book too. I wanted it to keep going because I wanted to find out more about what was happened. And the ending pissed me off. Just not because of it was a bad ending, just because I was like, there, really? This was another book that I was like reading. I was like, are you serious? That's what they're going to do. But it was so good. Really, guys. This book was so good. I really think if you enjoy horror books, this would be a fun, unique monster book for you to read. Because just his take on all the 5 different tribes was just fascinating, and I want to find out more about the tribes, like the Sallow and the Vacant. Oh, I would want to find out more about the Vacant. But yeah, that's my recommendation. I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. So yeah, that's my review for Our Carrion Hearts. And thank you for coming so we can talk about some books and things. And I will talk to you later, guys. Bye-bye.